Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm laying out for the door that'll go on the front. And I kind of wish I would have thought ahead and went ahead and cut this stock when I built the other two doors, and gone ahead and cut the slots and did the routing. I wasn't thinking ahead, I was kind of in a hurry. But anyway, the opening on that front is 17 inches. And I want there to be about an inch of this door laying over on each side. So I've cut this to be 19 inches wide. The length, I did the same way. I think it was about 32 3/8 on the opening, so I made it 34 3/8. And this is our bead panel, and pretty cool how this worked out. It worked out so that there'll be three full bead strips within the inside frame of this door. So what I'll do when I cut this panel out, I'll hold off, or I'll add about 7/16 of an inch to each side and each top and bottom. That way it'll fit neatly into the slot and still have some room to move a little bit. What I'm going to do now, go ahead and take this apart and run the edges across the round over bit in the router, and then cut the slots inside the face frame. And then I guess I'll cut this panel out, put it all together, and move on to building the pull-out drawer. Okay, I think I finally got the dimensions of the drawer worked out. Cut the pieces out. As you can imagine, I'm going to put these together with, guess what, pocket holes. So really I'm just making a tray, and the clothes hamper will sit in this tray, and then the drawer will slide in and out. So what I need to do now is go ahead and cut some slots, cut some dados for the bottom to go into the drawer. I've already changed over the blade on the table saw, so let's go cut these dados out. We're going to go ahead and try to get these sliders put in. I guess you can call this a poor man's jig. I've just got a couple of clamps on there. But as you can tell, I went in and I put a member on the inside here to kind of support the weight. When I started building this thing, I originally thought I was going to have a door on the front, and was kind of putting it together with that in mind, but somewhere along the way I changed course and decided to have this as a slide out drawer. So had to improvise a little bit, but I think this is going to work just fine. It's real careful to get this laid out where it'll be real level, and hopefully it'll work real good. So let's go ahead and put this together. I'm using one of these self-centering bits. which makes it really easy to get your hole just right. So what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of mocking up these drawers. I haven't actually screwed them and glued them yet. I'm going to just mock them up with, hold them together with some clamps and put these sliders on and make sure that, well, mostly that my drawer is not too wide and that everything is fitting together real good. And then I'll put it in and test it. And once I test it and feel like everything's, you know, going into place the way it's supposed to, then I'll take it all back apart and assemble the drawer. But for now, I think I'd rather just check, because I know it's going to be really tight. And I just want to make sure that I don't run into a problem. Okay, we're going ahead with the assembly of our drawer. Made the final adjustments. I went ahead, I'm using pocket holes, but also ran a little bead of glue on each face there so that, you know, just get a little extra strength. So you can kind of see how we're going with this. I've already assembled the rail, and we're just going to go ahead and put this side on. Go ahead and put the other side together. Like I said, we're going to hit just a little bit of glue right here. Probably doesn't need it, but won't hurt anything. Gotta be careful with these daggone pocket holes, because I quahitas my hand with that thing the other day. It slipped right out, and of course I'm holding it down here, and it kind of hurt like damn it. Go, tighter than Dick's hat band. We'll go ahead and put the front on, and we'll move right along to putting the whole face frame and the assembly together. Okay. Put these last two screws in. Okay. Now what will happen is, in just a minute, I'm going to attach that that face frame that we built earlier today right here. Okay, so we attached the face frame to the drawer, and here's what we have. It's looking real good. I'm going to have to come in here and strengthen this up a little bit. I'm going to run a piece of 1x up to here, and that'll put plenty of strength on it. But for now, everything's looking real good. Well, we've made it to the point of finishing. We went ahead and put a good coat of primer on the cabinet, sanded it real good, and right now I've got a couple of coats of the final paint, and sanded it with some 220 just to knock it off, and I'm getting ready to put the final coat of paint on it. And what I'm using is this General Finishes Antique White Milk Paint, and I'm cutting the mix with this extender. What that does is slows down the dry time, and that's part of the problem with HVLP, is it's blowing out the hot air, and it's a hot day anyway, and it dries too quickly and you'll have some problems. So this slows down the dry time, it lets the paint settle down, and delivers a really good finish. So I've got a couple coats and I'm going to put the final coat on, so let's get started. Well, we're getting really close, and the way that I can tell is the shop is a wreck. Got stuff thrown out everywhere, scattered around, and that's usually a sign that we're on the downhill slide. But we have made progress. You can see our project in the background. It is essentially about done, except for a few details, which I'm going to talk about now. But I've got all the painting done. I've got about 5 coats of polyacrylic, and I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. Just a couple of the last details on it. I've got to figure out some kind of crown to go at the top, and I think I'm going to use this Howl casing. I held a piece up to it and it looked really cool, so I think that's what I'm going to use on the top. The base has kind of perplexed me a little bit. I didn't just want to put a block down there and use a piece of cove. I wanted something with a little character, so I think what I'm going to do is take a 3/8 inch roundover bit. I like these white side bits, pretty expensive, but they're really good. And I'm going to set the bit a little bit low so that we end up with just a little profile like this. I don't know if you can see that. We'll just have just a little notch along the face, and then the roundover bit, and we'll just miter that in and paint it, put it up, and I'll probably nail it from the back so we won't have to mess up the finish. So let's get the router set up and run these pieces. So the project's done now. Like I said in the beginning of part 1, I did this several weeks ago, and since then I've actually finished all the trim in the bathroom. So I'm trying to catch my video up on this. Project's done. Now when I moved it up here, I wasn't able to move it in with the crown on it or with the base on it. I left that off because this door is only a 24-inch door, and man, it went through with just a smidge on each side. So once I got it up in here, I went ahead and put the crown on, had the pieces cut out. I nailed it from the inside so there's no nail holes on the front. Turned out really good, kind of exceeded my expectations. You know, got room for my towels, and got a brand new t-shirt. If you've watched my videos, you know that I like my white t-shirts. Got room for my spit cup. So let me go ahead and move the camera around. So it's so small in here I can't capture everything on it, so I'll move the camera this side so you can see the rest of it. So hopefully from this angle you can see that this cabinet is serving both of the purposes that I wanted. One is it's giving some separation and privacy between the sink and the toilet, and two, it's giving me a fair amount of storage in there for stuff, so I'm pretty thrilled with that. You can see our panels that go on the side. They don't serve any purpose, they just look really cool. And for the grand finale right here, this is where our clothes hamper is going to live. And it's a big space, and it's going to be really good to hide that clothes hamper in this little bitty bathroom. So overall, I'm really pleased with this project. I was on it for about 3 weeks because I was figuring this out as I went. So it took me a while, but I'm real pleased. It was a lot of fun. The paint, golly, that Fuji Mini Mic 4 HVLP, that thing is awesome. And you spray that General Finishes paint on it, the polyacrylic, man, it's factory finish. So I think we accomplished what we wanted. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's pieced together, but I hope you enjoyed it and maybe got something out of it. If you like it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow this redneck DIY channel here, so give me comments and subscribe and all that stuff. I'll be posting more soon. Take care.